This is our introduction podcast.
We just kind of thought that, like, we have some good stuff to talk about, and we're good motivating people,
Oh,
so.
yeah. And we have very similar...
Mindsets.
Yeah, mindsets, and we think we could share it and get it across to some people who need it.
I think you guys would just find our conversations entertaining. So the first one is, what lesson do you wish you learned sooner?
I think I wish I learned that, like, being alone is, like, okay, and, like, doing things alone is probably, like, one of the best things I've done, and I used to think that it was weird to, like, go somewhere alone or even, like, eat lunch alone. So I think that spending time with yourself is probably, like, one of the best things you can learn, I guess.
No, I definitely agree. I think, like, after getting out of high school for me is when it really became, like, apparent to me how much you need to be okay, like, with being on your own and being by yourself. Like, I don't know. I felt like I was very dependent on, like, the opinions or, like, what opinions I thought people had of me. And that's, like, what motivated me. But, like, that's only going to last so long. Like, people in your life are just temporary. Like, you're the only one that's going to be there for yourself the whole time. So, like, you need to learn how to be okay with that and be okay with being by yourself. I think my lesson that I would wish that I would have learned sooner would be that there's no such thing as embarrassment.
That one.
I felt like when growing up, I was just, like, super shy and stuff, and I just was always worried about, like, oh my gosh, like, what would somebody, like, I know what I would think about someone else if they did this, so, like, what are they thinking about me? And so it just, like, stopped me from doing anything outside of my comfort zone. But, like, as I've gotten older, it's just, like, no, like, everybody is so wrapped up in their own lives that they're not going to care. Like, embarrassment is all in your head. Like,
right.
it's not actually
real.
there. It's not real.
Yeah. Like, seriously, after you've said that to me, like, I, like, shifted a lot of things. Even at the gym. Like, I used to be scared to, like, go on the racks by myself. If I was, like, the only girl, I would be like, maybe not today, but now, like, I go in with the mindset, like, literally everyone is here doing their own thing. No one is judging you as much as you're judging yourself, and it's helped me so much with a lot of things. Being by yourself, I want to touch a little bit more on that. Like, I've also learned to, like, tell people, like, I can't be social right now, or I just need to be by myself right now. I used to be very, like, I wouldn't put myself first. I would definitely prioritize other people's happiness over mine, without realizing that I'm truly not happy, if that makes sense. I don't know.
No, it gets to be draining on yourself, and, like, your social battery, you'll find, just is always so low when you do that.
How did your first heartbreak shape/change you?
I think this kind of plays into what, like, Alyssa's answer was, because, like, so, I think that, like, I'm not going to say it was, like, my first heartbreak, but it was just the more recent one. But, like, my last boyfriend, like, we became so, I don't want to say dependent on each other, but we were just so familiar with each other to the point where, like, I would spend 4 or 5 days a week at his house. Like, I was just never home, never with my family, never on my own, like, always together. And, like, that's not a bad thing, but, like, it just, the hardest thing about that was, like, coming from hanging out with someone every day and having someone, like, always there and always talking to you, to, like, having to, like, be on my own and not knowing, like, what to do with my time. And it got to the point where, like, I would just sit there and just be like, wow, like, this is so boring. And I think that's why it made the heartbreak, like, harder, was, like, I was just so alone. But then, like, I don't know, it was also during quarantine, so I started working out a ton, and that's when I got, like, to be my fittest and everything. So, I don't know. I think it was definitely very, very hard coming out of, though.
For me, I think there's different types of heartbreaks, and I still don't know to this day, like, have I really ever actually had a heartbreak? But, we talked about this in California, how you never hear the side of breaking up with somebody, I feel like, as much as you do hearing it from the person who gets broken up with. But it still hurts from the person on the other side breaking up with somebody, because I hate hurting people. I never want to be the reason someone's, like, sad or super depressed or anything. Like, so and you can't help that person because it's best to distance yourself because you cause the pain. You don't want to be around them, you know. So that was like a heartbreak just to see how hurt they were. But and so that shaped me into like, okay, for like the future. Now you know when you are ready to go into a relationship, you'll know. You can't just jump into it. And sadly, that person had to be the person who I got the experience from. Like, that person was good to me, but I wasn't ready for a relationship.
What do you think is the worst thing humans have done? I don't know if this is the worst thing, but I think it's pretty bad. But I just think that we have let money just completely overrule like the food industry. Like I absolutely like it. I don't know, it bothers me so much when you like will be reading about like what's healthy and what's not healthy, and like come to find out these doctors, these dietitians, these nutritionists that are telling you this, the reason why they're telling you this is because they're being paid by the bigger companies. It's not like what you read can't always be trusted when it comes to like food and stuff, because it's being paid for by like the big companies like Coca-Cola or McDonald's. Like they're the funding behind these behind the research here. It's just made our view on food so confusing, and I feel like the best and most healthiest thing that you can do for your body is just like be organic with it. And I just hate how far away society has stretched from that and how much crap we put into our bodies.
Yeah, I think that, okay, first of all, I want to say I think social media is a pretty cool thing. It can be to a certain extent, and you gotta have moderation. But I think that it has totally like teenage girls, teenage boys, it's teared them down so much. It's how fake it is and how much of a highlight reel it is, and people think that that's how someone's life actually is, you know? Like, you could see a post about a boyfriend and girlfriend and they could be like the happiest looking on there, but you have no idea like what goes on behind that all. And so you compare like, oh, I want a boyfriend, they look so happy, but in reality, like, that isn't the case. That isn't like really what it looks like. So yeah, like, I think everyone's standards, they think that's like totally the perfect picture. Yeah.
I was thinking about that the other day. Like I was doing like just a little vlog of my day for fun, and I was gonna caption it like a day in my life, and like I feel like that phrase itself has so like it's lost its meaning completely. Like, people, like, when I read someone say like a day in my life, I'm just like, oh, this is their routine, this is like what they do every day, or like everything, like, oh my gosh, they're so healthy, or like they're so on top of things and so productive. But I was just thinking, like, no, like, the video I was filming was like one day in my life. Like, no day is the exact same. Like, it gets so misconstrued. And like, it's so like, social media is great and everything, and it allows us to continue networking even after we've lost touch with people, but like you said, there's got to be moderation in it. Like, it's
like, it's an actual
rough.
It's addiction. Like, it's addicting. Like, I'm addicted to my phone. Sadly, like, it's hard for me. Like, if I'm going to bed at night, I'm so tempted to just scroll and
TikTok.
scroll. Yeah, TikTok. It's crazy, and yeah, and it, like, literally, it is a highlight reel. That's not what it really is. And also, I think, like, I vlog too. Like, I will vlog my day for fun, and I will catch myself not really, like, this isn't really how I'm feeling, but I'm vlogging, so I'm gonna be all cheery, and, you know, so I try really hard to be super, like raw with how I am, and I feel like that isn't so common anymore, or it never really has been common.
No.
Online, and this is why we're here.
Fix it.
Fix it.
Be more genuine in what you post. We love to see the photo dumps.
Yes, and like, you know, don't edit your photos so hard. If you honestly, okay, Emma Chamberlain, I love how her aesthetic is. She's kind of like
raw.
Yeah, she's
like,
totally raw.
Like,
she
I don't know.
doesn't
I don't
care.
feel like I've... Like, she'll post pictures of her in bed with acne and
Yeah.
a hood on her head.
Uh-huh.
Like, you don't see everyone... Like, I don't know. I just feel like people with money feel like they can just be so careless. And I wish we all felt that way. Because,
Right.
like, who cares what other people think?
Yeah.
Like, no such thing as embarrassment.
Seriously. I enjoy, like, content that's more, like, honest or, like... I like getting deep and getting, like, real and hearing how people really, like what their opinion actually is on something, and they're just not saying it because this is what everybody else likes.
Yes.
I want to know, like, what, like, seriously, what are you into? What are you, like, how are you doing? Like,
be vulnerable.
yeah. Do you think you felt the love you deserve?
You can go first on this one.
Dang. Oh, no. Oh, gosh. I'm trying to think, what type of love do I think I deserve, though? Like...
That's a good question.
Yeah, like...
What type of love do you think you deserve?
Yeah.
Let's start there.
For real. I think I'm a very, like... Okay. This is hard because I'm a very caring person, but also too much is too much, if that makes sense. Like, I don't love the love that's like, I love you, like, see, I'm not great on love. This love topic is something I'm new to. I just think, like, respectful love, I guess that's what I would say, like, not fake love, like, you're not faking to make them feel good, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. That's my answer. I don't have much experience.
See, I'm the opposite of Lyssa. I have no feelings. I feel like I don't feel enough. I just it's very hard for me to be sympathetic or empathetic.
I don't know the difference either.
Sympathetic is like
like
showing that, like,
Okay.
you're sorry for, or like you feel for them.
Okay.
But like empathetic is like, oh my gosh, like, I've been through that, like, I know where you're coming
Okay.
from, like, that totally sucks.
Okay.
I have a hard time with both. I feel like this generation is very overcaring. I don't know if overcaring is the right word, but they just have a lot of feelings, and I don't. And so I feel like that just makes me kind of hard to love sometimes. Like my roommate, she's a very lovey person, and I love that for her, and I'm glad that she can show that, but I just have a hard time with it because I just show me your love in different ways. It's more like gestures that, like, show me that I'm loved, like going out of the way to do something, because it just means that I'm more than, like, just on their mind.
Yeah.
Sacrifices.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Answer the question. I don't think so. I don't think I've felt the love that I deserve, but then again, I'm still coming around to, like, what do I deserve?
Right.
So
yeah.
it's like,
There's still some figuring out to do.
I
like-
think people are putting forth their best effort, so that's
Yeah.
what matters.
Yeah. I agree. I want to talk about love languages. I know we've talked about it before, but a friend of mine, she says she thinks that music should be a love language. Like, I feel like that could say so much. Like, if you listen to a song and you listen to the lyrics or even, like, the vibe of it, that says so much about a person, and, like,
That literally,
you know?
that is my favorite thing, and I feel like I've done this for people, like, so many times where I'm just like, here's a bunch of songs that, like, remind me of you and, like, the way that you come off to me. Like,
yeah.
this is, like, what makes me think of you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I, like, show them that, and I, like, it's so hard because, like, I feel like I don't get that reciprocated a lot. It's like, it's very rare that I find a person that's like, oh my gosh, like, I heard this song and I want you to hear it because, like, this reminds me of something that you'd like or something. Like,
Yeah.
I definitely agree that music should be one.
Definitely. It makes you feel so good. I don't know. Like, if somebody sent me a song and I listened to it, I would just, that song remind me, I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like trying to say these words, but yeah, and also, like, I'm a very, like, observant person, so a lot of things remind me of certain people, and when I go out of my way to, like, tell people that, I also feel like they're like, oh, that's cute. Like,
they don't reciprocate
Yeah.
it. It's very rare that you just find someone that's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So we're making a 6th love language.
Yep. Tell your mom and dad.
It's music.
We're gonna improve that. Imagine we had just like fixed everyone's like relationship.
Like, you guys are having issues, show each other your favorite song.
Seriously, I think so. That is like genuinely so smart.
Like,
seriously.
yeah, like what song reminds me of you? Like, what song is, like, what is this song making you, or like, how am I making you feel? Portray it in a song. What is a thought that continually intrudes your mind?
A bad thought that I'm trying to work on is, I guess this is kind of like my biggest fear, is I'm always thinking like you gotta live to your fullest potential every day, and that I like that mindset, but also it stresses me out. I feel like sometimes I might not give myself enough credit. Like, I always think like if I'm exhausted, my mind will think you're such a lazy, like, you gotta get up. And so I think I never give myself the benefit of the doubt, I think. So that's a bad thought I have.
Okay.
It's good. It's like good and bad, I guess. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. A bad one for me, you're gonna fail. Like, that scares me so much. Like, failure is like my biggest motivator, because like I it's a bad thing and a good thing, but like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of times the only reason why I'm pushing to do something is because I don't want to look bad to myself. Like, I don't want to be like, yeah, like, you failed at this, like, this is something you're not good at. Because I don't know, like, it's hard for me to like be bad at something, like, hard for me to deal with being bad at something.
Yeah. It's hard for you to accept failure too.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, what's a good thought I have? I know for a fact that what I want to be, I'm gonna be that. I'm not gonna let myself go into this like cycle of life of not enjoying it. I can't comprehend how people, like, if they're unhappy, they just stay unhappy, you know? Like, I'm gonna work, I'm gonna bust it, and I'm gonna get what I want, because that's what I want, that's what I want to be. And yeah, I think my mindset is just, that's a good thought. Like, my mindset in all is just a good thought. Not all the time, but I'm like strengthening my mindset to
be there.
Yep.
I think lately, at least, the best thought that's been on my mind is like, treat everyone that you meet as a networking opportunity. I have had a hard time getting along with some people, like, in years past, like, whether that's school or just like outside of school, and other things that I do, like my hobbies. But like, lately I've been working on treating everyone that I meet as like a connection. Like, so don't walk into something being like having a mindset like, oh, I don't like this person because like they do this, or like, I don't know, like, I'm working on just like kind of accepting everyone in their own ways. Like, yeah, maybe they do this, but that could come into use for like something else that I do, or they might have connections to some other person. Like, and I think that's really helped me branch out more. I used to be very introverted, and I think now it's allowing me to meet more people, and really like put myself out there. And I think that not only it is helping me, but it's helping others. Like, I'm able to more fully like give to them, like, with what I have to offer. So
we're all humans having a human experience, you know? Like,
yes.
We're all literally, like, nothing literally matters too. Like, I don't know how to word it right, but I think you can get what I'm saying. Like, we're all experiencing the same thing, just different people view it differently, you know? What have you tolerated in the past that you no longer tolerate?
I used to let people very much so take advantage of me. Like, I don't know, I would just be like, you know what, like, maybe they're going through something, and they need help with this, or like they need just someone to be there for them, and it would just get to the point where like I'd be putting forward my best effort just to learn that like they're just doing it because they know that I will put forth my best effort, which I think kind of comes into play with the fact that like I hate failure. Like I hate feeling like I'm not doing my very best, and so like I always do my best, and then people will take advantage of that. And like, that's something that I used to let happen a lot But as I've gotten older and gone through some things, it's just kind of come about that I'm just like, I will put forth as much as you put forth in this relationship. Like, it's not going to be one-sided anymore.
Oh, yeah. I think for me, mine is, I used to be I would have fear of judgment of what I truly, like, my opinion on things. I would say things that I thought people wanted to hear, and now I feel like I've grown so much. I say my opinions, and I'm super passionate about them, and I don't care what, like, I'll listen to your opinion, but I don't let it affect my opinion or alter, like, what I think. So I think definitely being alone, I've learned a lot.
It teaches you so much about yourself.
Yeah, you realize, like, so much, and I'll think about my past, and it's like, why I can't believe you ever liked that, or, like, yeah, even tolerated that.
What goal do you think we as species aren't focused enough on achieving? To be general with it, the quality of life. I feel like everything is about quantity, like how much your car is worth, how much your house is worth, how many trips you've been on, how much money you have in the bank. Like, I feel like we aren't focused enough nowadays on, like, what is going on in this moment. Like,
yeah.
Like, what are you getting out of this conversation with someone? What are you gaining from, like, living today?
Yeah. I read this thing, like, it was a quote, like, be where your feet are, and I have taken that with me since I heard that, and I feel like we have a hard time living in the moment and just, like, actually being aware of things. We just kind of, like, you know, let it cruise by.
We're either, like, on our phones or, like, we're thinking about, like, what else do we have to do today? Like, it's never just, this is what I'm doing right now.
Yeah. And I think that if, like, we started just living, like, in the moment, all of our worries, they seriously will fade away. Like, a lot of people worry about things that haven't even happened yet. Like, you know, it's crazy, and that has helped me a lot, too. Also, I think it's kind of a trend nowadays to be unhappy. I think once people, like, are happy, they're like, expecting, like,
something bad to happen and ruin it.
Yeah, but it's nature for humans to be happy. Like, that's literally, like, we're meant to be happy. And Agreed. I don't think people understand that.
You go into something thinking that it's always going to be bad, or you have a mindset that everything is just bad all the time and something bad's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. I was reading this book called As a Man Thinketh, which my boss recommended to us. But I was reading it, and it was literally, like, things happen the way they do because you're thinking about it. Like, your mind is constantly going, and that's what creates, like, the life that you're living. So if you are constantly thinking that, like, something bad is gonna happen, or, like, you're constantly in fear, then you're always going to be in fear. Like, you're not allowing yourself any space to, like, to be happy or to allow good things to happen to you. Yeah.
Your mind believes what you tell it constantly. Like, that should be pretty understandable. Like, if you're constantly thinking, say, like, you're a high schooler and you go to school and you think, like, today's gonna suck. I hate school. I hate the work. It's gonna be so hard to get through that. And, of course, your days are gonna suck. Like, you're not looking forward to anything. So how can you expect for it to get better if you're constantly dwelling on that? And also, I think people, I'm, like, going all over the place, but I think people are too comfortable nowadays, too. Like, nobody steps out of their comfort zone, I feel like, anymore. And that's where you grow the most. And, you know,
there is no growth inside your comfort zone. Yes. You have to be taking steps to grow.
Yeah. You need to, like, you can only grow from a certain space for so long. And I recently, like, I used to be super, how do you say it? Like, social in this one certain group of people, which were amazing people, but
you get familiar.
Yeah, and I felt like I wasn't learning or having, I don't know, like, I just felt like I was stuck and I wasn't really going anywhere. So I isolated, but it just kind of happened. I didn't, like, wake up one day and think, all right, I'm done hanging with these people. It slowly, like, happened, and I realized, okay, I'm learning so much, and I don't feel ready to be put out there yet. And that was uncomfortable. Like, I used to have FOMO, and I've kind of cured that. Like, I don't really care what people are doing and what's going on. Yeah, that's my take on that.
Love it. How important is reassurance to you?
It is important to me, I think, because I'm constantly, like, I am definitely an overthinker, I think, with a lot of things, and every now and then, if you just, like, tell me, like, hey, like, you're doing a good job, even that, like, the smallest things like that, it goes a long way, like, the littlest things. So I think it's definitely, like, number one, I would say, on the list of, like, even, like, friendships, relationships, family, anything. That's my go-to, I think.
I don't think that I'm big on reassurance. Like, that's not something I've ever needed a ton. I think the reason being is that when I was younger, like, I just felt super alone in, like, what I was going through. So I'd never, like, tell my parents. I wouldn't tell my friends anything that I would, like, be going through and what was hard to me. So it made me very, very independent. To the point where it was just like, as long as I know that I have myself, like, that's what matters. So I'm definitely working on getting there with accepting reassurance from people, but I don't think it's something that I'm dependent on or necessarily need. It's nice to be told that, like, yeah, you're doing a good job. It's nice to have my parents, like, recognize my achievements and stuff, but not something that I personally need.
Like, growing up, I also was very, like, we're so similar. So, like, our families weren't very, like, I love you, right?
My family, I didn't really get hugged as a kid. We weren't really big on saying I love you. So, like, words of affirmation and physical touch are very hard for me.
Yeah. Yeah, same here. And I think, like, it happened the opposite for us. That made me, like, crave it. Like, I struggle with it, too. But I want that. Like, I want to be able to, like, hug someone or, like, say I love you. So I think that's why it is so important to me, because it's something that I, like, dream about. I want that. So, yeah.
See, I think for you it's something that, like, you crave, and for me it's just, like, it's a whole different level of, like, intimacy to me. Like, people, I don't know, have different views on intimacy, but, like, being told I love you or giving someone, like, a hug in front of a bunch of people, like, that to me is, like, okay.
It's, like, a lot.
Tone down the notch a little.
Too much. Yeah. When people say I love you to me, it's like I stutter. I'm like, well, it's not just, like, it's not something you just throw around and say. Like, it actually means something. I also used to think that, like, kissing meant more than just kissing. And,
yeah.
I mean, I still think that, but things have changed. But yeah, like physical anything is, like, a lot for me. I applaud people who are super, like,
casual.
Yeah.
Like just being able
it's
to be
so
casual
easy for them.
Yeah, like, I definitely wish that was the case for me, because it definitely makes it harder, like, getting into a relationship with someone. I'm like, don't touch me.
Yeah, it's so much. I would, like, my first relationship, I would, like, think about everything, like, should I hold his hand, or should I, like, say this to him, should I, like, even, like, cuddling, I was constantly thinking, like, am I, like, how should I, like cuddle him? I was super, like, it was just a lot for me and overwhelming, and we're still learning. If you could say anything to the person who hurt you the most, what would you say?
It would just be, like, what did that do for you? I don't know, maybe it'll make them think, or maybe it won't have any effect on them, but I think that's what my question would be. What did that do for you? What did hurting me do for you?
When I first read that question, I thought, like, honestly, I have nothing to say to you. Just because that person, I gave them so many, like, I don't know how to word it. Like, we were super, super close. Like, I thought this friendship was great, and it just, I would let them in and out of my life constantly and give them second chances. I think I would just say, like, oh my gosh, I don't know, because
sometimes actions speak louder than
right,
words.
Yeah.
Showing them.
Yeah, I would just, I don't even know. At this, yeah. This is a hard question I don't even know the answer to.
5 tips that you could give someone to be as productive and, like, just live your most productive life. Like, what can you tell people?
You have to strengthen your self-discipline, because, yeah, this goes with comfort. Like, if you're comfortable and just that, you're not growing. Yeah, you're not growing, and also the more self-discipline you do, so the more things that you don't want to do that you start doing, life becomes so much easier, and it just feels like kind of a habit, and I feel like you find joy in it. So self-discipline, as simple as it sounds, sleep. Seriously, like, you need your energy, you need your rest to recover and re-energize. So
in moderation, though.
Yep. Yes. Yeah. And making things fun. Like, learn to enjoy the journey. Like, life is seriously supposed to be fun, and I want to make that so clear. Seriously, like, you only got this one life. You never, like, don't take it for granted. So do what you enjoy. Get the things done you need to get done. Yeah, so make it fun. Also, surround yourself with people that give the same energy as you do to them. Because if you're around people who constantly you feel like you're drained, you're going to feel sluggish, and you're not going to feel inspired or motivated. And lastly, just get out there. Like, try new things. I feel like the more inspired you are, the more, like, you're going to want to do things. I think those are my top 5.
Start organizing. Organize your budget, organize your day, organize your goals. Once you start doing that, you can start making the small steps to keep going, to be productive, and to keep excelling. Second is take care of yourself, physically and mentally. I think that's something that goes along with self-discipline, is like knowing your limits, but also like knowing how far you can push yourself. Like, physically, going to the gym, taking care of your body, start eating healthier. I think once you start eating healthier, it clears your mind in so many different ways. Like, and you just, I don't know, it does good for your body. Don't let your fear take control of your life. So take a hold of every opportunity that you get, even if you're scared to try it. Put yourself out there rather than keeping to yourself, because you don't know whose lives you could affect in whatever way. Honestly, start writing things down. Start journaling. Start writing your goals. Start manifesting. Put it out there, because once you start writing it down, your mind is constantly thinking about it, and you're working on that stuff, even if it's like unconscious. And you don't realize that you are. Fifth is, I don't know, probably just tell the people that you love them. Just because I think it's important. Reassurance. I'm working on it, and it's important to let other people know that as well.
We should talk about, like, the whole point of this podcast. Like, what do we want people to get out of it?
I think for me, it's just, like, mindset. As soon as I started reading about mindset, about, like, taking control of my own mindset and stuff, and, like, being put in being put in, like, just, like, places that I had to, like, grow that, it really started to, like, literally change my whole routine, change, like, who I am as a person, because, like, once you start changing the way that you think, like, just everything about you changes, and I want somebody to be able to see, like, how far I've come, and let that be some kind of motivation to them, or, like, I don't know, maybe there's something that I'm doing in my life that people don't approve of, and maybe that'll strengthen their standards or strengthen their mindset from where they stand. I think the biggest thing for me is mindset, and helping people just become more aware of that.
I want to show people, like, it doesn't have to be hard to do the things you want to do, or feel the way you want to feel, find the people you want to find. I want to improve people's lives while also improving my life, and a way for me to feel, like, talking is very therapeutic to me, and I feel very, like, calm and at peace when I'm just, like, talking, and knowing that if this helps, like, one person out there, that it's like a butterfly effect, and that person will start doing things differently that will inspire other people.
Okay, number 1 lesson from today.
Start getting uncomfortable. That's what
Get
I would
uncomfortable.
Say. Get uncomfortable. Do
like that.
uncomfortable things that scare you and make you feel anxious. Maybe
Challenge yourself.
Yeah, that's probably the better way to put it.
No, make yourself uncomfortable.
Yes.
Do it.
Yep, make a list of things that you want to do, but you're scared to do, but you should do it.
Do it.
Do it. And send a video. Talk to your gym crush. Ask for form advice.
Can you spot me?
How's my phone? You know, do something like that and see where it goes. I guarantee you it's...
If nothing happens there, the worst thing that could happen is, you put yourself out there. Like,
yeah. And you probably... It makes you feel good anyways. Like,
yeah.
I'm glad I did that.
We've got some big things coming up, so...
Yeah. In the works, the ideas are flowing and they're happening. Like, we could have easily said, we should do a podcast, and we could have never done it. Like, we could seriously have just said that. But we are here now, and we're doing it.
We're getting uncomfortable.
Oh, we are. This is, Yep.
Okay. Well, goodbye.
See ya.